I know. Yeah. Check, check. Public comment.
I texted to you.
Texted it. You texted
Oh,
it.
yeah, I handed it to you.
Oh.
With the stand?
Yeah. Good.
Good evening, everyone. We're doing digital public comment first?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We'd first like to thank you all for coming out. The July 13th special meeting of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability is called to order at 6:40 p.m. We will begin with a call of the roll. Commissioner Loizon.
Here.
Commissioner Gomez.
Present.
Commissioner Terry.
Present.
Commissioner Driver is present. Commissioner Troncoso.
Present.
And Commissioner Beth Brown, who is joining us virtually.
Present.
With 6 of the 7 commissioners on the CCPSA present, we have a quorum and can conduct the public's business. The next item of business on the agenda is public comment. If you would like to share something related to the Commission's work on public safety and accountability, you have a few options. You can speak at a public meeting. You can also submit public comment in writing by emailing your comment to Community Commission Public Comment at cityofchicago.org. Again, that's Community Commission Public Comment at cityofchicago.org. Or you can bring a copy of your comment to one of the Commission's public meetings and give it to someone on the Commission staff or someone who is on the Commission. People who wanted to speak during the public comment period tonight were asked to submit their names in writing earlier tonight. Names were then drawn at random by a member of the Commission staff. Speakers will be called in the order in which their names were drawn. If your name is called to offer public comment, we ask that you approach the microphone and line up in the order in which your name is called. When it is your turn to speak, please say your name and then spell your name for the record, and then offer your comments. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. We have allotted a total of 20 minutes for public comment. And with that, we will begin with our folks who are joining us virtually first, who have signed up for public comment, and those are, first person is Nancy Rodriguez, who is joining us via Zoom. Huh? Okay, I don't think Nancy's here, so we will move to David White. Anybody still here via Zoom? Can we confirm that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please offer your comments.
Okay, my name is David White. That's DAVIDWHITE. So may I begin?
Yes, please do.
Okay, some Chicagoans have expressed the view that we need to choose a superintendent from within our police department. But it seems unlikely that we can find a veteran of the CPD who will transform it from an institution of intimidation to one of compassion. Consider the following. Since 2016, Chicago taxpayers have spent $578 million on judgments against police for misconduct. Hundreds of CPD officers cannot be called on to testify in court because they've been known to falsify reports or perjure themselves. Last March, police officers re-elected a confrontational union president who resigned from the CPD in 2021 to avoid being fired for misconduct. In 2019, a consent decree was established due to the violation of constitutional rights of Black and Latino residents. According to Maggie Hickey, the independent monitor of the decree, only 6% of the requirements of the decree have been met after over 4 years of monitoring. This lack of compliance is evident in a recent report from the ACLU indicating our police officers are still pulling over Black and Latino drivers at a rate 7 times higher than white drivers. The police in Chicago inhabit a culture that is racially prejudiced and believes intimidation and violence are the keys to maintaining order. Mayor Johnson needs to select a superintendent who will challenge rather than perpetuate this approach and work to create a new culture wherein the police are part of the community rather than antagonistic toward it. That person is unlikely to come from within a department that has repeatedly resisted all effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White, for your comments. We will now move on to in-person public comments, with our first speaker being Natalie Coleman. Also, if you are not able to come to the mic, please raise your hand so that we can bring one to you. Natalie Coleman, present. We'll move on to, I believe this says Keith Brown. No, Keith. I can't read your last name, so Keith, first initial B, if it's not Brown. Kobe Guillory. And I'm going to read a few so you can line up. After Kobe, we have John Catanzar Jr., and then Daryl Smith.
Hello, my name is Kobe Guillory. That's K-O-B-I-G-U-I-L-L-O-R-Y. And I'm a member of the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. I say that to say, I'm here as part of an organization that, I'll stop touching the mic, I'm sorry. I'm here as part of an organization that, really fought to get this commission established and fought to get the district councils established in all 22 police districts around the city. So, I come here to say that I'm supporting the Community Commission. I appreciate the work that y'all are doing. And at the same time, I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. But at the same time, we need to be filling up these spaces that we're having these meetings in. Because like the previous speaker said, it's not just an issue of one police officer, right? It's not just one bad apple. It's a whole systemic issue. And the Chicago Police Department needs to be cleaned out from top to bottom. So You know, while I trust the Community Commission in selecting a new superintendent, you know, I want to employ the community to stay involved, because that's the only way that the police department is going to get cleaned out. If we keep showing up, to these community commission meetings, keep showing up to the district council meetings, you know, there's some district councilors here, and these are people who got involved because they wanted to hold police accountable, because they wanted to change the way that the police interact with the community. So we as the community need to stay involved. We need to keep supporting them. So again, thank you all for coming out here, and please keep attending your district council meetings. And for the next community commission meeting, bring more people. You know, if you came here with one person, you got to bring 2 next time. If you came here with 5 people, bring 10 next time. You know, because we need to get this done. We need to clean this department out. Thank you.
Oh, we're good. Thanks. Good evening. I am the aforementioned president of the FOP that Mr. White spoke of. I might surprise some people in this room. I want to commend the commission. Thank you for the work you've done. This process is 100 times better than what it was when the police board was conducting it. It's much more fair and inclusive. And I want to just say thank you on behalf of the 17,000 members I represent in the FOP for giving our members a voice in this process and explaining to you what is important to them in the boss that's going to lead them forward. The same men and women who defend these streets every day that recovered 12,000 weapons off the street last year. That's 12,000 weapons, mind you, that could be used for more homicides that are no longer on the streets for that purpose. Every interaction, or most of them, with them 12,000 weapons could be a deadly encounter by those officers, like Ariana Preston sadly faced not but a couple months ago, along with Andres Vasquez Lasso, trying to make this city safe for everybody. We are not perfect. We are no different than any other profession in this world. But I can tell you, I know my membership, and I know the majority, the supermajority of them are out to do the right thing for the right reasons to make this city safe for everybody. So I want to commend you again on your efforts. Thank you for the inclusion, and good luck in your search.
Thank you.
Good evening. I also want to commend the committee. Daryl Smith, president of the Inglewood Political Task Force. I'm a 53-year resident of this community of Inglewood. Like I said, I want to commend the commission. I don't want to get up here and speak about data. A lot of people can research and speak about data. I want to speak about personal experiences. And my personal experience with Chief Snelling is that he was a commander in this district. And he was one of the few commanders that had an open door policy. He bridged the gap between the community and the police. So he wasn't just out there policing. You know, I had a couple of personal incidences, one being in 2020 when Black Lives Matter Chicago came up and they tried to cause a ruckus, and the community stood their ground and the police let us do what we needed to do. And I think that when you have a police that have the confidence in the community to police themselves, like Larry Snelling did, that's somebody who we need. We need someone from inside, someone who came through the ranks, and I hope that the mayor in his picking picks Larry Snelling. That's just my opinion. Also, I was fortunate enough 2 weeks ago to be at the University of Chicago with over 30 police chiefs throughout the United States, and me and Chief Snelling taught a class. And some of the things that he told those top officers, I think it would be great for him to embed that in the officers that's out here on the streets today, because officers are 95 and 5. 90% of the officers come to work, do 8 hours, go home. 5% are outstanding officers, like Larry Snelling, and 5% are rotten to the core. So we need someone like Larry Snelling to help bring those 5% that's rotten to the core, you know, to their senses. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll again call a few so that you can be ready. The first is Andre Smith. The next is a member of our Non-Citizen Advisory Council, Ariana Correa, and Angel Ruby Navarrijo, and Billy House. Okay. Andre Smith.
Mama D. Evangel Yanubian, and I'm an advocate for indigenous Black American rights. I'd like to know if your job requires you to take an oath of office to the Constitution. And if it does, the 14th Amendment says, if you're not born in America, you must be naturalized and pass a citizenship test that requires you to read, write, and speak English. And only citizens can legally vote in federal, state, or city elections. And I'd like to ask if you have to take that oath to the Constitution and it comes to you doing your constitutional duty or doing the duty of the people or the mayor that appointed you, which loyalty would you take, the Constitution or who appointed you?
Our public comment period isn't a discussion or a back and forth. We're here to hear from you, but it's our policy that we don't typically respond. If you would like to talk after this, I'll be happy to answer that question.
Isn't that question part of?
I'm loyal to the people of Chicago. I'm not loyal to any administration or any particular person. I'm loyal to my community.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, but I wanted to know, sometimes you take an oath of office, and that I wanted to know about that. But I would hope that your selections are good and thoughtful, and I'm appreciative that you did not bow to pressure of the letters that the aldermen got together and decided that they would be better at doing your job than you are. And I'm glad you didn't bow to that.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariana Correa. Next to me is Ruby Navarrijo, and we serve as appointed members of the Commission's Non-Citizen Advisory Council. The Non-Citizen Advisory Council, or NAC, includes Chicago residents who are not United States citizens, undocumented, and people who work on behalf of Chicago residents who are not United States citizens. Commissioners have convened this special meeting today to discuss the finalists for Superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. In the midst of recent news that some Chicago police officers have sexually assaulted or raped migrants. The offenses committed by these officers are horrendous and heartbreaking. It is not the kind of national attention the City of Chicago or the Chicago Police Department deserve. The Non-Citizen Advisory Council implores the Chicago Police Department, COPA, the Commission, and the next superintendent to take swift action to bring justice to the women and minor affected. As a group, we have 3 demands: transparency on the actions taken by the Chicago Police Department, the immediate removal of the officers involved from the Chicago Police Department for the well-being of our communities, and ensuring policies and cultures are implemented to protect all people. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next 3 speakers are, wait, did Billy House? Okay, sorry, just wanted to make sure. Bamani Obadelli, Evangelist Mama D. So did, okay.
All right, I want to say good evening to everyone here, to the Police Accountability Commission. Thank you.
We need your name and...
Bomani
for the record.
Obadelli, community organizer, and I work with a community organization, anti-violence group, Activists Inc., where I do community engagement for them. And I just want to thank the Police Accountability Committee for all the hard work that you guys have done, going through 58 candidates or so. And I want to thank the community organizations who really put this whole process in place where we have now got a voice of the people in the community. So shout out to CPAC and Frank Chapman and all those folks who really have fought over the last 20 years for us to be in this space, that you will now send, 3 names to the mayor, and the mayor will actually pick a superintendent that has been chosen by the people. And so this is a really important and a big deal today, and I want you to get it right? So I'm hoping in your selection process is someone who really understands constitutional policing, somebody who really understands the bowels of the community, and even like the mayor said, the real flavor of Chicago, someone who understands how to be the police when it's necessary, but also how to work and see the community as allies and not, as enemies, right? And so I stand tonight in support of Larry Snelling, who I feel is the best choice, and I'm hoping that he's one of the names that is sent. And I can go with Angel Navales. I'll be fair. I can go with Chief Navales. He's someone who also understands police. Well, that's fine. I can go with an Angel Navales. I would have a hard time supporting anyone who sent out memos ordering police officers to up their stops, to stop innocent black people for no reason. There's no way a person like that should be even considered to be police superintendent. So the ACLU was right in filing that lawsuit, and I thank you for your time. Please do not send anybody to the mayor that has violated our people.
To our commission staff, is there anybody else on the Zoom that is doing public comment? No. No, that if you didn't submit one of these sheets ahead of time, then we are going, I can't hear you, sir, but with that will close our public comment period. We will now move on to new business, and that new business is the nomination of 3 finalists to send to Mayor Johnson for consideration for the next superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. Oh, is she here? He here? Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize you were here. Sorry, before we move on to new business, we did have one public comment. One more speaker.
Okay. Hi, my name is Billie House, B-I-L-L-I-E, House, H-O-U-S-E. I have been a resident of this community for over 60 years, and the corruption of the police is still the same. You know what I'm saying? So we need to just clean house. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of all of them, because in 60 years of here in our community, it's still the same. So I don't care what you pick on, they're still going to be the same. You got to clean house.
Thank you for your comment. That concludes our public comment period. We will now move on to new business, which is advancing 3 names to Mayor Johnson for the selection of Chicago Police Superintendent.